They say it takes 21 days to form a habit, and I've always wanted to start reading, but I never managed to finish a book, so I decided to spend 21 days reading. During this challenge, I'll not only build this habit, but also create the ideal reading setup, make a calmer space, and set up a book library. So, for the next 21 days, that's what I'm going to try to do. And I decided to pick this package here. Creativity, a box for those who think outside the box, and these are the 3 books we have to read in 21 days. Remember that obviously to read, you don't have to read something just to acquire knowledge. You can just read a silly story, a simple story, that's totally fine. This is the box. I admit I'm actually really happy. Man, I've never read an entire book in my life, but Marcos, what about school, man? When I had to do a summary, Google book summary for whatever book it was, so are we really gonna read these 3 books? Keep going, show your work, and steal like an artist. And before starting the challenge, I wanted to say something. I don't have time to read. So to make this challenge easier, I decided to use an app called LeapHat. And it's an audio app with audiobooks and book summaries made entirely for people who don't have much time to read in their daily lives. So while you're driving, working out, or doing anything else, you can listen to the main lessons and better understand the ideas from books in a simpler and more practical way. In other words, even in the challenge where the goal is to read 3 books, I'll be able to do it. I'll be reading more books, and let's see if I can go 21 days reading without missing a day. And let's start this challenge with the book Steal Like an Artist. Steal Like an Artist. Basically, this book says it's going to unlock your creativity, and I'm the guy, I'm creative. Guys, trust me, I'm already having my coffee here. And the focus of this challenge is going to be reading 30 pages a day. Since I've never read and I don't have this reading habit, I'm not going to read very fast, you know? I'm going to read slowly so my brain can process because I'm a guy who's addicted to reels. Sorry. So I grab my watch and I'm going to time how long it takes me to read 30 pages. So let's start here. 3, 2, 1, and it's counting. And I started excited, eager to read, and for me this challenge would be very easy. This book is very short, I really liked it. It has quite a bit more, and it was simply 11 minutes and 30 seconds. If I do 11 minutes a day, I'll be able to read the 3 books in 21 days. Some people claim they don't have time to read, but my phone showed 12 hours of screen time recently. I'm saying this while taking my post-workout, you know? It's not exactly this every day, but today I want to share this. I made 4 scrambled eggs, a banana, and a glass of milk. I felt anxious waiting to read since I wanted to finish the book yesterday. With a busier day, I decided to read this afternoon after my workout. I almost drank from this soldier's bottle here, which holds 1.8 liters. If you use the code MARV, you get 5% off. I'm changing a habit in my life. I used to eat while watching videos, reels, and TikTok, but for this challenge, I've already deleted TikTok. This will be a big change. Man, because normally I was used to looking at a screen while eating, but now I'm going to eat and read a book. I don't know if that's healthy yet, because in a way, we're still not focusing our mind on the food. Man, you're worrying too much. It was during meals that I realized my focus was destroyed. In just 2 minutes, I already wanted to grab my phone, but I finished those 60 pages and it was almost 19 minutes of reading. Geez, today I took a long time. Basically, I came out here to the backyard so I could get some sun while I read the book. So that's what we're doing. We're doing a bunch of good things at the same time, besides obviously getting your like, right? Because come on, what do you think? So far, you haven't liked, hyped up the video or commented, right? No, speaking of comments. I've been farming aura for 24 hours. Shout out to Balak 10. Balak 10 doesn't really make much sense because I already farm aura every day of my life, and if you want, go ahead. In the next video, just make the most creative comment related to this video here. And I imagine there are a lot of people who heard about LeapHat and think it's an app that makes those generic summaries, you know, like a ChatGPT summary. You say, hey, ChatGPT, summarize this book for me, blah, blah, blah. No, that's not it. Opening the app here, we can first see several books that we might end up reading, but I'm going to search here for what I'm currently reading, which is Steal Like an Artist. And if I search, it will show up here as a 17-minute book summary, so we can choose to either read it, and then a 17-minute reading will appear, or we can choose to listen to a 17-minute audio. And this summary isn't just a bunch of random bullet points like when AI is used. It basically explains things in a story format with real examples and situations. So you don't get that feeling of, okay, I read the book but didn't learn anything. 17 minutes? What do you do in 17 minutes? Man, in 17 minutes, I probably watch 100 reels while playing Bara. I've set the timer, so let's start reading in the sun. I imagine I'm going to die from the heat because I'm wearing black clothes and a beanie, but it's better to wear a beanie and die from the heat than for you guys to see the mess my hair is in. And really, because of the sun while I was reading, I almost melted, but out of nowhere. My grandpa showed up and I had to do an interview. Come here, grandpa, come here to talk. Sit down, sit down. Look, I'm making a video where I'm reading a book for 21 days. Have you ever read a book? Only school books. What was the last book you read? I don't even know. I already forgot, man. How many years ago was that, more or less? 60 years? Has it been a long time, Grandpa? It's been a long time. What was the last book you read? The Discovery of Brazil? Well, basically, I'm inside my car because it's nighttime now, okay? and I'm going to work out, but usually I have a ritual every time before I work out. I take pre-workout about 30 minutes before training, so I take advantage of that time while I drink the pre-workout. And while it kicks in, I'll be reading the book. The truth is, it's the pre-workout along with creatine. I forgot to take it today. I'm pretty forgetful. That's actually an issue I'm having with this video. I don't know why. I've never spent time with people who read or have read 300 books. So I don't know if I need to have a fixed time to read. That's why I'm kind of all over the place, man. Some days I read in the afternoon, some days I read in the morning, some days I read at night. So people who read books, let me know in the comments. So if it's like, no Marv, every day at 9 in the morning I read, I'll try to do that. And as you can see, we've already passed the halfway point of the book. This is what I've read, this is what I haven't read, so let's go. Today I tried to read quickly because I was eager to work out, and already thinking about pre-workout, I'm already noticing a difference in my day. Now I'm even more motivated to work out. It might not be about working out, but in a way it is. Steal like an artist. Honestly, I'm great at cheating on curls. I lift 40 on each side for biceps, but my form is just cheating. It's day 5, so let's keep reading. I'm speaking quietly today since I'm at my boyfriend's house. I was about to sleep and I remembered to read the book. Just reminding you guys, okay? I'm doing this challenge here with a productivity book. But one thing that LipLeaphead has is that it organizes the content by themes, so when you open the app you don't get lost trying to figure out what content to look for or which book to read. Scrolling down a bit, we can see some selections it already puts together. For example, books about being productive. It recommends me a lot of books about productivity. There are also books about improving social skills, relationship goals, and finding life balance. Coming here to discover, you can select some categories you like. So I like sports and fitness, and it will recommend you books about sports and fitness. So you can read something focused on what you like, productivity, mindset, habits, or even just romance if that's what you enjoy. And on the 5th, I completely changed my bedtime habit. Before I used to look at my phone, now I read a book, which obviously makes me much sleepier. Oh man. Will Rios at least keeps me awake, which is much better than watching him. I got really sleepy. I'm also starting to enjoy reading. I'm going to sleep now. It's day 6 and I'm happy because we're finishing this book today. I'm recording a lot, writing scripts, and getting more organized. Everything's just flowing from my mind. Before I used to overthink and never got things done. Now I'm finally taking action, and I know it's thanks to this book and the positive changes I've seen. I think maybe the problem was never a lack of time, but rather the lack of patience I had to read, and I finished my first book ever. And finishing this book was more about putting into context what I learned, what I can do. I've already deleted my TikTok and I'm not using my phone as soon as I wake up. Just reading a few minutes daily helped me finish a book, which I thought would take much longer. It's amazing to finish a book. It feels really cool. I finished it. Done. Now I'll put this book on my shelf and say, hey, I've read Steal Like an Artist. It feels great. I always saw others do this, but I never did. Since I'm getting into reading, I need a reading setup, and I researched and bought the best equipment for our reading setup. First, I bought an armchair, and as you can see, this woman is holding a book in her hand, so I already understood it's for reading. Opening it up here, look, we have this thing here to inflate. I think we're good with it now. Someone farted in the box and closed it. Wow, it's big, okay? And wow, everyone, looks like the vlog will take some time. Alright, I'm done. I don't want it too inflated since it might explode while I sleep. It's comfortable. Now we'll fill it up, look. You need to use some strength, okay? This isn't easy. Now that I've filled the footrest, I admit my brain needs oxygen. I'll leave it facing this way and place the foot support here. As you can see, I'll sit down and move the book aside for our reading setup. So, we need a little table. That's why I basically bought this one. This one is going to be a little table for us to rest the book on, and maybe a coffee mug. Here we have its leg, our board. I got it in a wood color, you know? I think it's going to look nice. The table is finished, guys, just showing it to you. Look, this is the style I got from Mercado Libre. I can just fit it right under here. Man, it's perfect, dude. Now I feel like buying 30 books and reading them. Just kidding. I'll read 2 pages and then give up. I know that when you see this little corner here, even though it's kind of a lame corner, you'll think, Marvin channel, it's all set up for reading. But don't forget it's daytime, right? So now it's easy to read more, but what if it gets to nighttime? That's why I bought a book lamp here. Just showing you guys, look, it's like this. You clip it onto the book and there's a power button here that you turn on and it lights up. I know the video quality is going to get bad, but let's say it's nighttime. I'm here reading the book and I don't want to use my room light to read because the lighting is weak. Or maybe I'm sleeping next to someone, I don't know, sleeping next to my girlfriend and she's asleep. I don't want the main light on, I just want to use this clip-on book light. Attach it to your book, press the power button and you can read easily. So which book do you want to read? Take this phrase of ours, but it turned out kind of dramatic in the video, huh? Or you can disconnect it from this holder here and you can use it to light up whatever you want, you know? What do you want to read, huh? What? Ah, what? And doing some deep research on TikTok, I saw that reading setup kits are always kind of aesthetic. I'm there with a blanket, pillow, and some ambient lighting, but the ambient light in my room isn't great. Even with a book light, it's nice to have good ambient lighting for reading. And that's why we're here now with a floor lamp, and our little table is already serving as a stand here. Guys, look, as you can see, I got it in white, man, because I think it looks nicer. Since we have to stick to this book reading aesthetic, and a lamp too, and we also have the base here. It's pretty heavy, okay, this base here. Wow, man, I wonder how many kilos it weighs. Man, it must be around 40. I put the bulb in, and now let's plug it in and see if it makes a difference or not. So let's do it. Wow, that's crazy. You can turn it on and off with this little button here. And look at this, man, we can literally aim it. So we have that light for reading, and this one here, look, this one can be for the room. See, I just created the perfect setup for reading, man. Obviously, during this challenge, I'm not going to read here because the goal of this challenge is for us to build the habit. So it's about fitting reading into everyday life, but you can be sure of that. When I finish this challenge, I'll use this corner often to read and continue the experience with a new book. I admit that I was almost giving up on the challenge because honestly in the beginning it's much more exciting, but after a few days laziness really started to hit hard. I was really lacking focus and felt like putting it off until tomorrow, but then the Lipa Red app ended up helping me a lot. Because basically they have a system of daily goals and check-ins that help you stay consistent. It's a simple thing, but it makes a big difference because you really start to create a routine for a 20-minute, 21-day challenge in something like this. Consistency is literally everything, I think, out of all the days, bro. Even though I'm excited for this challenge, today was the hardest because I was really tired. I also changed my reading habit. Normally I used to read out loud. I used to need help understanding what I read, but now I can read silently and understand everything in the book. It's the 8th day and I believe God is sending a sign. I was truly addicted, not just to my phone, but all screens, and it caused frequent headaches. For those who don't know, I have an iPhone 16 Pro and an iPhone 11. Today my phone didn't want to work and there's a good chance I lost my iPhone. I'm trying to practice stoicism. Bro, like, man, it's just a phone, Denise, you know? Yeah, I make money with it, but Denise, anyway, today we're going to continue on page 30 and stop at page 60. And the fact that I spent the day without a phone, I went through the day without distractions, so I was reading there with no distractions, without even having the option to use my phone. I felt like a different person, and the 30 pages I read today say a lot. That's how it is. You have a device, your phone records your work, and you show and share it with people. Let's start another day. Today I'm here with my coffee and finally reading my book in the morning instead of waiting all day. I just woke up, which explains my hair. At first I covered my hair and took better care of myself in the video, but now I don't really care. And I admit that the transition from that first book to this one felt different, because with that one I was really motivated, and with this one I'm kind of so-so. Every time I finish a book I end up feeling motivated. Getting started is tough, like working out, but you're grateful when it's done, that's all. Also, did you fix my phone yet? I'm still doing a dopamine detox and will start my day reading a book. Losing your phone isn't a big deal, guys. And the funny thing is that 11 minutes reading feels way more productive than spending hours on my phone. I'm having this little coffee, man. Now I'm inspired to work all day. Just kidding, I'm turning off the camera and going back to watching The Office. Also, my box of supplements from Soldiers just arrived before we continue reading. So I thought, hey, I'll open it with my crew. What did we get this month? This month's order for you guys, look, I ordered some 300-gram creatine and flame pre-workout in lemon flavor. Man, this one is the gold, okay? I'm a fan of pre-workout. Along with the pre-workout, I also bought some caffeine capsules, you know? Which is just caffeine. I've never tried this before, man, in my routine. I also got a 1 kilogram whey mochaccino flavor. It's like cappuccino, this one, you know? I also got this shaker here, and I got 150 grams of creatine. I also picked up some protein bars. Look, wanna see? This one is one of the best for me. It's chocolate hazelnut, and another bar came too. Cookies flavor. I also got more whey, 1 kilogram vanilla flavor, and I also got the cookies and cream flavor. And I also got this water bottle here, man. This one right here, I'm addicted to it. My neighbor, really, he's gonna turn on his grinder. The insulated bottle from Soldiers, man. This one is really beautiful, okay? So now let's get our book here. Show your work. I stopped on page 90 and we're going to stop at 120, just a reminder, okay? If you use my code Marvin and buy at Soldiers like I do, you get a discount, okay? And now do you know what I'm going to read? Look at what I'm going to read here. I'll show you, man, what the book is like. The work doesn't speak for itself. So basically, I'm going to head out now. You saw that I got ready, but while I wait for my family to get ready so we can go out for a bit, I'm going to read the book, you know? Man, but all this noise while I'm trying to read, come on, my neighbors, seriously. And halfway through the challenge, I still didn't know if I really liked reading or if I was just doing it for the video. And I think the main effect it's having on me, since it talks a lot about creativity and work, is that I'm working a lot more. It's funny because I spent much of my life studying my work on the internet where I work. I used to judge books a lot since to me books are just reading. It's not up to date. It doesn't have the stuff we have today anymore, man, but a lot of things here still apply today. Now I'm going to step out for a bit. Is that okay? Can I have a drink? I can't? Continuing the challenge, right? Just showing you guys, look, I'm using a tablet now, okay? Because my phone really gave out and it's actually a different experience, you know? Because now, look, everything is much bigger so I can see the books larger and obviously the books that are more likely to suit me better. That's because when you log into the app, it creates a plan tailored to you, meaning based on what you want to improve. So for example, when I logged into this app, I showed the books I was reading, you know? It helps a lot because it only suggests books I'm already interested in reading soon. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, The 48 Laws of Power, Atomic Habits, The 5 a.m. Club. Man, wow, Leap had just described me right now. I literally just got back from the gym, and usually after my workout, I would have something like this. Watching videos, watching something, or reading a book. I'm going to take my whey and creatine, which I always take after my workout. It's even a recommendation. Obviously, I'm not a doctor. I'm not trained in this. I can't say for sure it's the best time, but I prefer taking it after my workout. So now I'll start the timer, take my post-workout, and read a book. And the feeling while you're reading a book is really good because you feel super productive. But now reading a book while having your post-workout, or sunbathing or doing something that makes it even better, you feel like the big boss of productivity. Man, that's it. I was feeling huge. I don't know the count, edit will show it, but just imagine it must be a lot. So if your excuse is that you don't have time to read, did that hit you? The fact? What happened today? I bought the World Cup sticker album even though I promised myself I wouldn't this year. It's not a good investment and I'm trying to save as much money as possible. But man, I spent my whole life collecting the World Cup album and I said, okay, it's money, but man, sometimes there are things that money can't buy, you know, man. And the feeling of putting together the World Cup album, I'm doing it with my wife too, so it's a really cool thing and I just hope Brazil wins, right? Because I bought this album, if Brazil doesn't get past the group stage, I'm gonna make myself as comfortable as possible. Remember, if you're going to do something you're not used to doing, like reading a book, try to make it as comfortable as possible for yourself, you know? That way you won't see it as a problem. I'm really comfortable here, and that day I was really stressed out because of a lot of things that had been going wrong, and I realized that reading really helps reduce anxiety. So for you, when your mind is somewhere else, pick up a book and read, or if you want, you can watch Marvin's video too, that's fine. The 30 pages I read today focus on not selling out, especially if you're an artist or work with what you love. If you can earn more doing what you love, say yes. If making more money means doing something you dislike or that doesn't inspire you, say no. That's my quick rant, that's cool. Because last year I found myself in a lot of moments like that in my life where I had opportunities that would have made me more money, but it didn't feed me, you know? It didn't really fulfill me, but that's it. Another day done. I'm not sleeping here with the book in my hand, lights on and camera filming, and yes, I'm wearing the same pants and socks as yesterday. No judgments, please. It's cold, so I didn't sweat or get my clothes dirty. I just wear them again. If I could, I'd keep wearing them until tomorrow. I'm just having coffee and answering emails. It's nighttime, I'm here on my porch to get some fresh air, and finally, after doing these micro readings, we've finished another book and completed the second book of our challenge. That means there's only one book left. I wasn't as confident about Ruby as an artist because I was much more excited for the first one, but this one is really good. It also talks a lot about never letting creative block get to you. So when you finish one job, you already start another. Let's say I'm recording a video, I finish this challenge, I already start another. I just keep going and don't let it stop. The moment we let ourselves stagnate, man, our creativity dies. And now it's time for us to set up our library here inside my house. As you can see, I changed the reading setup to a different place. I think this little corner here is better. I was doing some research on TikTok and I saw that every reading corner has a bookcase full of books. But I don't have a lot of books, so we have to make a library adapted for a small number of books. So I bought a shelf. Basically, I'm going to put it here at the junction of these walls. It's all white, matching the aesthetic of our library. No, it's not a bookstore. Inside here, we have our screw. Yes, we'll need to play builder and use the wooden pieces, which are the small white squares. It should look like this. Oh my god, this is more work than I expected. After making a few holes in the wall, here's my bookcase. What do you think, guys? Check out the furniture. It's nice, right? I think it's really cool, you know? I like its look. Apparently it's going to hold up too. We're not going to put 30 kilos of books here anyway, since I don't even have that many. And honestly, it's going to be hard for me to ever have that many. But now we've reached one of the most important moments. What does our library need to have? Books and decoration. It's a calm environment for us to relax. I think to put up here first, right? We have to start with the biggest one. Basically, it's a Corinthians lamp that changes color. I think it's awesome. There are no cables, so it runs on batteries. I'll leave it on and put it right here. There you go. It's already taking shape, isn't it? Please say it is. And moving down to this second shelf, let's put the books I'm reading, you know? This box set, I think it's really nice too, the way it's organized. This book, this box set will stay here, man, to remind us that it's a library, right? That we have to read here, that I can't just sit in this armchair and watch, I don't know, like 3 reels. But it will be interesting if it happens. For the lower shelf, we have to show a bit of creativity, you know? Some things like that, more for decoration. So I'm going to grab this mug here. If you've been following me since 2019, you'll know what I'm talking about. Look at this. Most of you are new and don't know what Trouslet is. This was my old channel logo from when I was young, and I've kept this mug since then. It's cool to leave it here, and I also have this. For those interested in my new hobbies, I'm getting into building Lego, activities without screens. My girlfriend gave me this Lego set. A very special girl, shows little of this creativity. We think a little outside the box, so I think leaving both of them here will look nice, man. Look, it's taking shape. Now to finish our personal library. Nothing is more important than having books, right? I don't have just these, I have these too. I said I'd never read them, and I really haven't. I didn't finish this one or this one. I stopped halfway. I did finish this one twice. I haven't finished any of these books, but since they're mine, I have to keep them in my library. And let's organize them. Since they're bigger than, you know, the shelf, we'll organize them like this. Look, I think it's going to look nice, and that's it, guys. That's how our library turned out, so I can keep my books in a little corner here. To make it even nicer for us to read together with the setup, and it's going to look really good. Let's see how it turns out. Good morning, guys. We're here to start another book. It's morning. I'm here having some coffee at my girlfriend's house, but now let's read the last book, which is the biggest one. It's even Keep Going, 10 Ways to Stay Creative in Good Times and Bad. And yes, my phone still isn't fixed. I'm really living the dopamine detox. I'm here with my laptop answering emails and using the tablet for Lipia Red. That's one of my biggest problems. In reading, it was always about going through lots of text, and I'd often forget things, even parts of the book. We just can't remember everything. But one good thing about Lipia Red is that it's not just a quick read. These 15-minute summaries it makes, it's not just about reading and that's it. They also have visual summaries, which for me is the best thing, like mind maps and some cards with the main ideas from the book. So that really helps you remember what you read later, you know? Because it's not just text, text, text. You can see a mind map about the book. So it's a new way to learn, just like when you were a kid and the teacher told you to make a mind map. Why? Because you were dumb and couldn't read text. So man, that's basically it. So besides having summaries, which already makes it easier, there are mind maps that make it even easier, man. So man, can you really read a book a day? But it was finally time to read the book, Move Forward. Moving on to the third book was very different. At the beginning of this challenge, I was so excited wanting to become a reader, but after seeing how it works now, I just want to stay consistent. Even before finishing this book, I can say it's better than the other 2 I read in the video. It focuses a lot on routine and self-organization. She lists the things you have to do and how important it is to adapt things to what you like. Man, I think that's my biggest flaw today. If the routine isn't perfect for me, then right away I can already say this is the best book. Good morning, guys. I'm up and reading the book again. Clearly, I didn't just wake up. I don't sleep with a watch or a camera filming me. I have to admit, I enjoy reading the book more right after I wake up than before bed. Reading before sleep was good, but now I prefer reading in the morning. You have the whole day to try to understand what you read. It really inspires me, so I'm enjoying it. So I'm really enjoying reading. As soon as I wake up, and on the 15th, it was the first day that I woke up and had that realization, I noticed that I was getting less and less anxious, not just while I was reading, but throughout my day. I stopped at page 60, and well, today it talked a lot about the act of saying no. Sometimes we find ourselves doing the things we want, working on what we want. When we're invested in a project, we end up saying yes to a lot of things that take our attention away from that project. In the pages I read today, it talks a lot about this, which is very important. You need to know how to say no. If you're working on a project you enjoy that keeps you going and someone asks you to do something else, no, it's not necessarily about saying no to going out, but to doing something that distracts you from it. You have to learn to say no to yourself, to respect yourself as an artist. Man, I'm getting there. Kind of crazy. We're here for another day of the challenge. Today I'm excited. Some days I was tired, I don't want to read. Today I want to read. I'm excited because I'm locked in right now. All right? The book is really helping me. You have no idea. I'm less active on social media because you end up... Sensitive topic, all right? It's really making me want to use the bathroom. Read the book, use it. Confirm this wasn't staged at any point. I've already changed my habits. Before I used my phone in the bathroom, but today was different. I finished today's 30 pages, and here's a phrase for everyone to reflect on. No artist can be hindered simply by the result. He also needs to enjoy the work until he gets there. These are some of the phrases in these books that help me a lot in these pages I read today. It talks a lot about visualization, about getting too attached to numbers and to others liking your work. But it's also very important to do it because you like the creative part, and turning your hobby into work can also be a bad thing, you know? Turning your hobby into a job isn't always good. It can feel like just working. It's cool, but it can also be negative. Anyway, it's nighttime and I'm going to work out. Marcos, you're wearing a Corinthians tank top even though it's still chilly. It's been good for me, but also exhausting. When there are takes like this, for example, I end up forgetting to record during the day and I remember at night. Now I'm going to work out and that kind of thing. We have these preconceived ideas about books, thinking that the challenge is much more about reading, but I see that the act of reading every day is a much bigger challenge for your discipline. Today was pretty busy, so now I'm going to work out. I'm going to a gym that's farther away. I'm going to read more books, but through the app. Well, basically, we have a free choice today, which is Millionaire Habits. Hey, Marcos, but how are you going to read in the car, man? There's an option to listen, so I'll connect my car's Bluetooth and listen to the book. Reaching goals is tough if we don't know what they are, since the hardest part isn't starting but continuing. The audio option really helps, since I can use time that would otherwise be wasted, like when I'd just be listening to music. Even at the gym, I kept up with the challenge without stopping, anything to keep reading. And on the 18th, I was having breakfast at my girlfriend's house and started reading like I was doing every day. But after a while, she also picked up a book to read, and I started thinking about how sometimes a simple habit can end up influencing the people around you without you even noticing. And if there's no one around you who reads books, why not be the person who starts reading and influences other people? It's morning, I'm having coffee and about to read 30 more pages. We're almost done with the book, mano. I'm anxious and feel like I need to use the bathroom. Should I do that thing again? I don't think so. Now every time I use the bathroom, I have to read something until my phone arrives. Then I go back to watching reels, and yes, I read in the bathroom, okay? I know that anything I say here, I could be lying. You won't know the truth, but I swear to you it was real. I really changed the habit. We're here on day 20, I'm getting ready to go work out. Today obviously is another day that I'm not going to train legs. From what I'm seeing here today, I'll finish this book, and before we read, talking a little about Lip Leaphead, I thought the idea of this app was really good, okay? I did this challenge completely focused on the book, but man, using Lip Leaphead, I was able to read a lot more books. And honestly, it's a really good idea for people who want to read more books, gain more knowledge, but don't have that much time. The cool thing is that they have a free option. If you check it out, look, there's a free option for today, so they do have a free option. Every day with summaries of different books, so you can try it out, see the free books they recommend, and see if it makes sense for you. But honestly, for me, it's amazing. The fact that you can read every day for free really helped me read more than 3 books in 21 days. So man, for you out there with a busy routine, you know what I mean? Leaphead, man. The download link is in the description and pinned comment. Thanks to Lipper Leaphead for sponsoring this video, but honestly, not just because it's sponsored. It's a great app, definitely worth it. Now let's get back to our reading. Watching this scene now, it's crazy to think that 21 days ago, I couldn't sit still and read like this. I had to be doing something, or my mind had to be overstimulated. Man, day 20 is done. In the book, I kept going with the book too, and 21 days later, I managed to finish these 3 books and show them to you as well. This is how my reading corner turned out, my setup, my library, and now this one here. This was the total reading time I had in these 21 days. I realized that reading is just like working out. Some days you don't feel like it, but once you finish reading, you never regret it. It's great for relaxing your mind, easing anxiety, and sparking new ideas. I started to become a much more creative person and get more things done after I started reading these books. Here's a tip if you want to start reading. Don't begin with 50 pages or an hour a day. Just start. Simply put, I read for about 11 minutes a day. That was my average. It's very little, but I finished 3 books in 21 days. One thing I also learned from this challenge, and I want to share it with you, is a mistake I made. Trying to set a fixed time to read every day, like 9 a.m., saying, I'm going to read, that's when I'm free every day. Or 6 p.m., 7 p.m. before bed. That's how you get stuck. Because if you don't set a fixed time, you'll have to find time in the middle of the day. And you'll always end up prioritizing other things that are already planned, so reading gets pushed aside. Of these 3 books, my favorite is Keep Going, the last one I read. It focuses on routine, which I really enjoyed. Just a reminder, the link to this book will be in the description. I highly recommend it, especially if you're an artist, to buy from these product links too. And now, was it really worth it, these 21 days of reading to build the habit? It was worth it, man. But try it out yourself.